Welcome. Now, in this module, we're going to take a look at the Controls Appendix Part 5, and we're going to take a look at cryptography and physical and environmental security. So, cryptography is A10, and physical and environmental security is A11, and these are the group level controls. And cryptography has only 2 controls, and physical and environmental security is the largest group with 15 controls. Now, cryptography has 2 controls and only 1 control objective, cryptographic controls A10.1, and we have 2 controls, policy on the use of cryptographic controls, so a policy should be in place, and then you need to conduct key management. Now, for key management, let's take a look in more detail. A policy on the use, protection, and lifetime of cryptographic keys shall be developed and implemented through their whole life cycle. So key management is very important wherever cryptography is involved, and there's different ways and mechanisms in which key management needs to be conducted. So this control says that you need to have the policy to implement the entire life cycle. For physical and environmental security, the next group level control, we have the first control objective, secure areas. So there needs to be secure areas designated in the organization, and we have 6 controls: physical security perimeter, physical entry controls, securing offices, rooms, and facilities, protecting against external and environmental threats, working in secure areas, and delivery and loading areas. Now, let's take a look in some detail. Physical security perimeter. Security perimeters shall be defined and used to protect areas that contain either sensitive or critical information and information processing facilities. So usually what happens is that if the data center is on floor number 3 of the building, then that particular floor has a very strict access control mechanism, and you would have more controls like biometrics and a security guard and security cameras and surveillance, for example. And access to that floor would be limited and controlled very strictly. And the next one is physical entry controls. So secure areas, any security zone, even the data center or any area, for example, the call center where credit card data is being discussed with the customers. So any secure area shall be protected by appropriate entry controls to ensure that only authorized personnel allowed access. And that could be through a guard at the entry point. It could be through access control through biometrics or through a card system. And you have to swipe a card in a machine, for example. And it could be through an entry barrier as well. So when you swipe your card or enter your biometrics, then there's a lock and that opens, for example. So those are physical entry controls. And then working in secure areas. Procedures for working in secure areas shall be designed and applied, because sometimes we need to specify what is allowed and not allowed in the secure area. And in some secure areas, for example, like I said, the call center, where credit card users, customers are calling in, and they are probably complaints being lodged, or they have questions about their credit card balance, then in such an area there would be a policy that the agents of the call center are not allowed to take the mobile phones into that area, and that would be the policy for working in the secure area, for example. Now, physical and environmental security is the group control that we're referring to here. And the control objective number is the second one is equipment. So we have equipment siting and protection, supporting utilities, cabling security, equipment maintenance, removal of assets from that area, and security of equipment and assets off premises. Let's take a look at some of these. Supporting utilities. In green, 11.2.2 says, equipment shall be protected from power failures and other disruptions caused by failures in supporting utilities. So we're talking about a backup system in terms of utility, the battery bank, the generator, another source of power. And then equipment maintenance. Equipment shall be correctly maintained to ensure its continued availability and integrity. And that's important. For example, you have a generator, you have an air conditioner, and you need to make sure that the maintenance schedules and the maintenance tasks and the maintenance training and the maintenance contract for the equipment is properly managed. And under equipment, we have secure disposal or reuse of equipment, unattended user equipment, and clear desk and clear screen policy. Now, Clear desk and clear screen policy, let's take a look in more detail. A clear desk policy for papers and removable storage media and a clear screen policy for information processing facilities shall be adopted. So for clear desk, for example, you need to manage papers, and when you print out something, you need to make sure that you go and pick it up from the printing bay, and papers are not just left around. When you leave at the end of the day, you should pick up the papers from your desk, you should put them in a locked cabinet, and then whenever you get up from your computer, there should be a lockout policy, and after 5 minutes of inactivity, the computer should lock you out, and users should be trained to press Control-Alt-Delete and lock out the system when they get up from the system as well, so that we can prevent other users from accessing computers or information processing facilities which are unauthorized. Now, that was a detailed look at the controls appendix. And in the next module, we're going to look at operations security. Now, in this module, we'll took a look at the physical and environmental controls in detail. And there's a lot of physical and environmental controls, and that's a very important part of security. And there are different perimeters and zones and mechanisms used for the physical and environmental security, as you saw in this module. So let's move to the next module. Thank you.